Hello class, how are you today? I really hope that everything is okay at home with you and with your families. In this opportunity, we will continue developing the unit number 1 that is called the hospital. But first, we need to recall or remember what we did during our last lesson. Do you remember? Yes, we listened to an interview of a woman that wanted to be part of a hospital and she was a scrub nurse. We listened to this job interview and also developed some activities in relation to it. You were also given a task to do at home, so I hope that you are working on that. We are going to check now some sentences taken from the audio. Your CV says that, what do you do every day? What do you like best? I assist the surgeons, I prepare the instruments for surgery, and I help with the operations. I like watching operations, but it is the contact with the patients that is most rewarding. I am very happy with my job, but I want more responsibility. I need you to think about what do these sentences have in common. Look at them in terms of the structure, in terms of the word, in terms of the verb. What do they have in common? Do you have any idea? Yes? No? Well, they are written in the present simple tense. So, what is the present simple tense? That is the topic of today's lesson. We are going to remember the present simple tense. So, we are not going to go deep into it because this topic was learned in previous years. But if you don't understand the present simple tense yet, this is the moment for you to clarify your doubts. So, the present simple tense is used to talk about actions that represent, number 1, habits. Habits are those activities that you constantly do. Routine. For example, I assist the surgeons, I prepare the instruments for surgery, and I help with the operation. So, every time that you talk about your habits, your activities that are repeated, your routine, or things that represent your responsibilities, you use the present simple tense. Another use is to talk about permanent states. Permanent states refers to situations that are constant, that they don't change. For example, your CV says that, in this case we use the present simple tense because what is written on a piece of paper cannot be changed, although you edit it afterwards, but in that moment, that is the way it is. Another use, and the third one, is to talk about general truths. It means things that are truth, that you cannot refuse them. For example, I like watching operations, but it is the contact with the patients that is most rewarding. Every time that you talk about your likes or dislikes, what you love, what you hate, you talk about general truths. When you talk about your preferences, that is something that is deniable. It is a true thing. So, present simple tense will be used to talk about habits, permanent states, and general truths. Let's see the form, the affirmative form. When we write affirmative sentences in the present simple tense, we are going to use a subject and a verb in infinitive. For example, I work in a team, or she works in a team. In this case, notice that we add an S at the end of the verb work because we are using the third person singular he, she. You remember that? What happened with the negative form? In the negative form, we are going to use the auxiliary verb that is part of the present simple tense, which is don't and doesn't. So we are going to use the subject, plural or singular, they do not or don't, does not or doesn't, and the infinitive verb. We are going to use doesn't for the singular subject, he, she. We have doesn't. And for the plural, we are going to use don't. All right? And the verb is the same. We don't add anything to the verb in this case. We say doesn't make and not makes with an S. That is not correct because here we have doesn't. All right? And the interrogative form. In the interrogative form, we are going to reorder the sentence. We will start first with our auxiliary verb, do or does, depending on the subject, then the subject, and then the verb in infinitive. And again, do for the plural subject and does for the singular subject. And the verb is still the same. Notice, in the negative and in the interrogative sentence, the verb still the same, remains the same. It doesn't change. But in the affirmative form, we will make a change in the verb when we have a he or a she or an it as well. A third person singular subject. So let's check again our sentences taken from the audio that we read previously. Your CV says that, what do you do every day? What do you like best? I assist the surgeons. In the case of your CV, we will say that this is a third person singular subject, an it subject. For that reason, we add the S at the end of the verb. These two sentences are interrogative sentences. So as they are interrogative sentences, we use the auxiliary do in both cases because our subject is plural subject, you. And the last one, the verb remains the same as it. And now, to finish with this presentation, you are going to develop your personal job. In your copybook, you are going to answer the following question using the present simple tense carefully. So the question is, what does a nurse do? You are going to explain the nurse job in 3 lines, using, of course, the present simple tense. So, to summarize, the present simple tense is going to be used in 3 situations. Number 1, to talk about habits, which represents daily routine or activities that you do repeatedly. Number 2, permanent states. It means things that do not change in time. And number 3, general truths, things that are certain and they cannot be denied. For example, likes and dislikes. All right, and that's everything for today. I hope that it is clear for you, but if you have questions, remember that you have my email address and you can write me emails whenever you want. Take care, be at home, and see you soon in the next opportunity. I send you a hug, a warm hug, and see you around. Bye-bye.